research, your thoughts, your opinions, and your experiences. Take it away.
Yes, Bill, thanks. I want to mention that one of the most interesting reports that I ran across in my research was a talk that Lloyd Dusha gave, who was then deputy director. This was in 1987. He was then deputy director of engineering and construction for the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers, and he gave a speech entitled Underground Facilities for Defense, Experience and Lessons. His talk was at a seminar that was held at MIT in Boston, Massachusetts, pertaining to, it was a conference held on underground construction, and his talk was given in that context. And I read his entire talk, and parts of it were so interesting that I want to highlight them for you and your listeners. He said, and I quote, "I must deviate a little because several of the most interesting facilities that have been designed and constructed by the Corps are classified." He then launched into a discussion of the Corps' involvement in the 1960s in constructing the huge underground base beneath Cheyenne Mountain in Colorado. And then he said, as stated earlier, there are other projects of similar scope, which I cannot identify, but which included multiple chambers up to 50 feet wide and 100 feet high, using the same excavation procedure mentioned for the NORAD facility. Now, I want to say 2 or 3 things here. Number one, he is point blank telling you that the Army Corps of Engineers has made secret underground facilities. What he is not saying is where they were and for whom they were made and what purpose they serve. I will give you 2 guesses. Number one, that some of these were undersea, and number 2, that some of them may be off the planet, either on the moon or Mars. Because I have found plenty of documentary evidence indicating interest by the United States military, and also a bare smattering of evidence in mining literature indicating interest in building facilities down in the seafloor, in the bedrock, beneath the ocean floor. So that would be my first guess. Also, I have uncovered a fair number of documents from different government agencies, NASA, but not only NASA, indicating planning for or interest in mining, subsurface mining, either on the moon or Mars. And so I would guess that within the black budget that we do have manned undersea bases and perhaps manned subsurface bases on the moon and Mars. There's certainly been buzz about both of those, and I have found documentation in the federal engineering and scientific literature that openly discusses making underground mining bases on both the moon and Mars. So I, at this point, am thinking that both of those things may well have been done. As you know, there's a great deal of evidence suggesting a parallel, secret, off-the-books space program, and I'm of the mind that it could be quite large.
Wow. Yeah, absolutely. We also have testimony from Henry Deacon about going and visiting the underground base in Mars.
I wouldn't rule it out.
Have you heard that they're going to be bombing the moon? Because
yes, it raises a lot of questions in my mind. I strongly suspect we haven't been told the truth behind this mission. I wonder if there's not an installation on the moon, maybe human, maybe an installation put there by another country.
Sorry, Richard, did you hear that that Obama is planning to bomb the moon? Did you hear that?
That's what I'm saying. Yes, I have heard it, and I have many questions about that. I am wondering if there's not something up there that NASA wants to destroy or has been ordered to destroy.
Something they want to hide, in other words.
Well, it could even be a manned installation, put there by another country on Earth. Or it could be an extraterrestrial installation or an old ruin from a previous terrestrial human installation. Or, I don't know, but I doubt that we have been told the full story. I've read the story, and it raises many questions in my mind.
Absolutely. Well, it actually sounds, totally nonsensical, but I did run this by a recent secret witness that we were talking about earlier in the show, and he says that they are bombing an alien base up there.
Maybe. If they are, I'm not sure that's a good idea, because if someone has the technology to put a base on the moon, by definition, they do have high technology, and they might not be the kind of beings that you want to make angry. That's my opinion. I am not a military expert, but sometimes it's not wise to poke a stick into a hornet's nest.
Absolutely. Well, I'm being told that the longitude and latitude bill that you related earlier are numbers that were on Mars. That longitude and latitude was related to Mars, not the U.S. or not the planet.
Minus 5 degrees 70 minutes and 39 degrees 27 minutes. So I guess you need to go to Google Mars, not Google Earth. And that's a joke.
It's a good one. Okay, well, Richard, thank you so much for coming with us on the show. We're just thrilled to death to have you, and we'll have you back real soon.
Thank you, Carrie.
We just raised the surface here. There's a lot more to it. And for everyone, next week, actually next Thursday, this coming Thursday, we have David Wilcock coming on the show with us to talk about the science behind ascension, among other things. And I guess we're actually done with the show here. Bill,